Hello and welcome to part 12 of this puzzle run on chess.com, where I solve puzzles and you can follow along, and I'll give you time to try and figure the puzzles out along with me. Okay, let's begin. In this position, it looked like white has just captured a piece here on e3 with his rook. And so we have the black pieces. What can we do against white in this position? Let's see here. Well, okay. And what threat does white have against us? Well, it looks like he's threatening a mate here with a pawn promotion on h8. So whatever we do, we have to mate him before he mates us in one move there. So let's see. We have this possible pawn promotion here. If we promote to a knight, that's possible with immediate check, but we also have a check here, but then it looks like the king could possibly escape here. And do we have a follow-up? We could have a double check here, and I think that would do it. Okay, but let's see. We'll give it one quick look. Hopefully you figured it out already. Feel free to pause at any time if you need to. All right, so I'm thinking a rook check here. And if he goes up, then we can mate immediately. So if he goes here, then what do we have here? Let's see. I may have miscalculated that. So if we go rook to c2 with check, and he moves here to d3, then what do we have? Okay. I don't know what I was thinking. All right. Rook to c2 with check. If he moves here, what can we do? What can we do? Maybe we have to check with the knight. So promote to a knight on b1. What does he have? He can only move to there. And then that would win. Okay. And then we just move up to here. Okay, I hope you found that move. That was a little tricky because usually people want to promote a pawn to a queen, but sometimes under promotion is a good idea. All right, on to the next one. Okay, the rook has just moved there to g1, attacking our queen. What do we have here? What do we have? Okay, well, if we capture with the queen here, threatening a mate, he can capture with the knight. And then how do we continue? So if we have capture, rook can capture, then the threat is here. Uh, hmm. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. We have this bishop as well, which could deliver a check here potentially. So, queen captures, sacrifice the queen. The knight could recapture there. And then, if we go here, well, that would allow him time to check us. That would cause problems. Okay. So, do we leave the queen there? Do we bring this bishop up here? Okay. All right, a little tricky. What do we have here? What do we have? Do we just capture here? That's a possibility as well. Just capture here. But then what about this check here? If he checks us and we capture, that could cause problems. All right. Well, oh, well, the rook would be able to capture the queen, so I think we're good. All right. So that is what it wanted. Now, we probably want to move here with the king. We have the option here or here. So my initial thought was f8. And if he goes there, all right, go there. Because then if there's a capture here, we can recapture. But we still have this threat of the queen capturing on c2. And if he captures the queen, then we can jump up here with check. He could only block with the queen. We could capture and then recapture over here. Okay, on to the next one. I hope you found that one. These are a little more difficult and a little harder, so I may only go up to try and break 2350 instead of trying to go up 100 points at a time, which is more difficult now as these problems get harder. All right, the king has just moved, retreated back here. So what should black do in this position? It looks like black should just capture that knight. Is there a trick here that I'm not seeing? Okay. White is trying to come up the board. So if we capture that knight and the pawn goes here, will we be able to stop this pawn? It looks like probably not. Huh. So that may be the trick. So if we take that knight, then he pushes here. And then we're in the way. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. If we capture the knight and he pushes here, we can check and then swing down and stop it. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay. Hope you found that one as well. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, the king has just retreated from a check by this knight back to g1. How can we follow up our attack? Okay, how can we follow up this attack? Well, we have a queen. And, all right, have you figured it out? I think I have found this one. Yes. Okay. All right. Have you figured out your move? Pause if you need to. Okay. Queen, sacrifice, and then check and mate. All right. That was an interesting little queen sacrifice there. All right. On to the next one. Okay, the king was in check by this pawn, and he moved forward here to b5, attacking this pawn on b6. Okay, what do we have here? All right. Well, oh, and white is threatening a mate in 1 here with queen to g7. So whatever we do, we have to do it immediately. Okay. All right. Well, what can we do here? We have checks with our queen, but the king could escape down to this a6 square. All right. If we capture this bishop to stop the mate in 1, then he can still mate in 1 by capturing on c8 with his rook. So we have 2 mate threats that we have to stop, or we have to mate white first. So how do we mate white first? What do we do here? Okay, well, we can check here. He can't block with the rook, as we could just capture and be protected by our rook. Okay, so check on d3 looks pretty decent. If he moves up here, we could capture the rook and check him again, unless we have something better. Okay, but what if he captures this right here? Then we can just capture the bishop. All right. Okay, I think that is the move I'm going to try. So queen to d3, checking. If he goes here, we can capture with check, chase him down. Okay, this move, queen to d3, prevents him from escaping here. He will have to capture this pawn. Then we could capture the bishop. Okay, so do we just capture the bishop now, or do we have something better? We may have something better if we check with the queen. But we have to calculate that out now. If we check with the queen, then he could jump here. The queen could come down with check, forcing him up to here. All right. Let's see. So now the ending is tricky. Queen to b3. He can go down here to prevent a mate threat of the rook going here. So what can the queen do from here next? Or the rook could just check him. I think that works. Okay. Oh, nope. Wait, the rook can't because of this rook up here. Okay. All right. So, queen check. He has to go here. We can drop our queen down, checking him again. So, he would have to move up to a6. How do we follow up? If we go here, he could block with the bishop. Okay, do we just capture here? Capture this bishop and knock that threat out? We could do that as well. Knock out this defender. Okay, this is a tricky one. I hope you found it already. The follow-up is difficult. So we could capture here, knocking that out. And maybe that's better. That gives us time with another check. But then let's say we check him, and if he jumps here to a6, then what do we do for a follow-up? All right, I'm going to try it because I'm not sure. Okay, so I guess we got lucky on that one. All right, so now that is interesting. Okay, well, now, okay. Do we just capture here? Just capture his rook? That seems like a possibility. Do we have to worry about rook sacrifice, capture, queen captures? Then he could swing up here and capture. Okay. All right, what do we have? Is there anything better? Any checks on this king? If we swing over here, he can just capture here. I don't know. Sorry I'm taking so long. This is a difficult one. I hope you found it already. All right, I'll try and speed this up. Let's see. What do we want to do here? Do we just capture here? Do we have any kind of checks that do anything? If we check him here, all right, This is probably wrong, but I'm just going to capture. Okay, so they did do that. All right, so it looks like I have to capture. Now, do I block with... Oh, there's a check. Oh, man. Okay. That was pretty interesting. That little check at the end that I missed changed the whole game, the whole sequence. All right, I hope you found that faster than I did. All right, on to the next one. Okay, what do we have here? I'll probably stop at 2350, so maybe this will be the last problem, or maybe we do a few more. All right, Queen has just moved here to A7. What does white have? All right. Well, what does white have here? Well, there's a threat here with the bishop and queen lined up here. If we move this knight. So, how should we move that knight? Huh. Okay. If we want to move that knight, but then that would allow his knight to possibly just jump back here to cover that. So maybe we have to go here. Maybe there with the knight. All right, that's what I'm thinking. We jump here. We also cover that, so that would be useful. What threats does he have? This capture and a line on my king. All right. Nope, that is not what they wanted. Not what they wanted at all. Okay. Well, do we threaten a rook in the process? Do we threaten a rook by going here? If he captures, we can go up here with check. Okay. So that is what they wanted. All right. And how do you follow it up? Does some kind of queen sacrifice work? Not that I see. I mean, probably we just have to capture here with check. So, capture with the queen, queen captures, knight captures, attacking this rook, and threatening here. All right, so maybe that's what we need to do. Okay. All right. Okay, well, we misplayed that one a little bit. So on to the next one. I hope you did better. Okay, the king has just moved here to d8. What can we do now? Oh, and it was in check by this rook on e1. So we have the king kind of trapped in. He can't make any moves, but all we have is a queen and a bishop. Is that enough? Well, it might be. So, all right, have you found the move yet? Looks to me that we can go queen to g8. If the king moves here, we can mate him here. If he blocks with the queen, we capture. The king is in the same problem. All right. Okay, we got that one. On to the next one. Okay, this knight has just jumped in here, threatening our knight on f6. Because then if he captures and we recapture, his bishop can get our rook here. Okay, so white has threats against us. What should we do? What should we do here? Are we ahead in material or is it even? Looks like it's about even. Okay. Looks like do we just capture this? Capture with our bishop, capture the knight on d5. That seems to be the move here, unless there's something better. Just capture that knight with our bishop. All right. There's another possibility. Capture with our bishop, checking the king. He doesn't have to take that. If he did, we could check. But we still have this blocking. I don't know. I'm thinking just capture this knight with our bishop first. But, okay, are there any threats of the queen? Looks like the knight is covering there. So if we capture, if he captured and brought our king up to here, and then if the bishop captured, we'd have to keep our knight there and capture with our queen. All right, I don't know. I'm thinking we just capture with this bishop. Okay, now we capture with the queen, definitely not with the knight because then there's a mate threat here. So capture, capture, and we're just ahead a piece. And this bishop's under attack and we'll have to retreat. All right, on to the next one. We'll try and break 2350. Okay, the queen has just moved to c8, checking the king. All right, what can we do here? What is the move? We can block with our bishop, which probably is the best move because that bishop can be captured if we don't move it. Is there any reason to move this king up here? Check, capture, queen could check. All right, probably block. Block here. Now capture with the queen. Capture with the queen. Okay, we go there and we're attacking his bishop so we can, or sorry, we're attacking his rook so we come out ahead in that. All right, We made it up to 2350. So I'll stop there for today since these problems are I'm taking a little longer because they're getting more difficult. And I hope you've enjoyed this puzzle run on chess.com and that you were able to follow along and solve these problems with me. And if you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and feel free to leave comments or suggestions. Thank you and have a great day.